Welcome, my friends, to Cursed, a new series by projectdarkknighthorror. This series will feature items known and lost that have been cursed. From paintings that cause fires to cursed mirrors that opens portals and doorways to the other side. From ouija boards to dybbuk boxes. In this series, we'll explore the item, the curse, and the lore. And together, we'll open the secrets of the cursed item. This is the Crime Boy painting. What do you see when you look upon it? Sadness? Do you see joy? It is a painting that was mass-produced by a mysterious man. People hung these paintings in their homes and, at the time, it was a trend and most families up and down the UK had a Crime Boy painting upon their wall. But then slowly, one by one, something mysterious started happening to the families up and down the UK. And all of these mysterious occurrences had one thing in common: the Crime Boy. In the middle of the night, in the Margaret Thatcher era in England, a home in South Yorkshire succumbed to a fire. The lounge room was charred black, drapes and furniture reduced to ashes. The owners of the home, Ron and May Hall, lost nearly everything in the blaze except one item: a painting of the Crime Boy. His wide eyes looking out from the wreckage, not even blackened by the smoke. This wasn't the first time a picture of the Crime Boy had been found amidst the ashes of a torched home. On September the 4th, 1985, the British tabloid newspaper The Sun published the blazing curse of the Crime Boy picture. A story about a very unlucky painting that caused fires. Supported comments of a local fire station officer, these paintings, the firefighter said, turned up mysteriously unscathed in fires across the UK, all of which he had seen almost 50, spontaneously start. He also stated, before the fire, the couple had laughed off the warnings that their painting was cursed. The Sun newspaper warned people, saying, "Let all others heed this warning, get rid of your paintings of the Crime Boy immediately." Then, people started sending in their copies of the Crime Boy to the newspaper. The Crime Boy painting hung in hundreds of homes all across England. The paintings were mass painted and were available in stores during the 1950s to 1970s and tended to appeal to younger couples. The fact that the painting was of a young boy who looked sad and was crying was what made it appear in so many homes, because it was artistic yet haunting at the same time. Also, it was the trend during those years. I remember in the late 70s, early 80s, as a young boy, my mum told me the story and the lore about the Crime Boy, and the first time I looked upon his big sad eyes, I remember being gripped with sadness and fear. And thus, the legend of the Crime Boy spread like wildfire. The painting has not been reprinted for decades, but now the bizarre subject matter and backstory have kept the legend going for years. Even now, when you show the picture of the Crime Boy to people, they will tell you it's a cursed picture. So, do you believe in the legend? Would you hang the picture on your wall at home? Even if you don't believe in the curse, there's still a part of you that would rather be safe than sorry. Why tempt fate, right? The same reason we don't walk under ladders. The same reason why when we see a raven or a black cat that crosses our path. The exact same reason we don't break mirrors. It's bad luck. So, does bad luck exist? And if so, why can't a curse? Item 2. Tomino's Hell. The next item on our list is a Japanese poem called Tomino's Hell. It was released in 1919 and recorded for the poetry collection Suckin', or, in English translation, Gold Dust. Rumour has it, if you read this poem out loud, you will either die or suffer a terrible accident. If you're wondering where this urban legend came from, it was Saijo Yaso. If you're not familiar with Saijo, he was a Japanese poet who worked on children's nursery rhymes. I wanted to do further research on this poet, but there wasn't much about him in English, so if there's anyone out there who knows anything more than what I've researched, please get in touch via the comments or my email address, which is in the description below. I find this subject very fascinating, and anything I can learn would be greatly appreciated. I did, however, come upon a possible inspiration behind the poem and the age he was when he created it. It is said that Tomino's Hell was created when Saijo was 27 years old, and the inspiration came after experiencing a great loss of his sister, who died. Apparently, there have been multiple reported incidents regarding the poem, and one was the death of the director Suji Terayama. It was no secret that Suji highly admired the poem Tomino's Hell, so much so he created a film inspired by it called Hide and Seek. This is the translation, which I don't want to pronounce incorrectly. It was released in 1974, and the director died after it was released from cirrhosis of the liver. Some people believe it was the poem that killed him, since he used to read it out aloud to anyone who would listen to it. From what I've researched, it's okay if you listen or read it to yourself. Only reading it out aloud in Japanese ignites the curse. In another case, a female college student died 1 week after reading the poem out loud for a dare by her peers. Other cases include illnesses, car crashes, fatal falls, and in all the cases, the run-up to the deaths, it was reported that a feeling of an evil presence lingered around the person who died. I read the poem in English to myself, but because it was originally written in Japanese, the translation was difficult to understand. When you hear it, you might not understand it, because one country's meaning differs from another. That's why sometimes when a translation is made into English, it doesn't make sense. One thing I did notice, though, was that throughout the poem, he refers to his two sisters repeatedly. So maybe it was the death of his sister that inspired the poem. So why is it cursed? And why do people suffer when they do what he knew that they would do, which is read the poem? The reason you're listening to this now is because you are drawn to the dark. Because you know there's something waiting for us on the other side, good or bad. So, is it possible that a poem can kill you if you read it out loud? Well, I'm going to play the poem for you in Japanese. But don't worry, listening to it is okay. Then, if you're a skeptic, along with the translation in English, I dare you to read it out loud. But I won't be doing that because just like item 1, I know there's no smoke without fire.
Tomino の地獄。姉は血を吐く、妹は火焼く。可愛い富野は宝玉玉を吐く。一人地獄に落ちゆく富野。地獄蔵闇かもなき。鞭で叩くは富野の姉か。鞭のしぶさが気にかかる。はたきや叩きやれ叩かずとても。無限地獄は一つ道。暗い地獄へ案内を頼む。金の羊にウグイスに川の脳を袋にやいくらほど入れよ。無限地獄の旅したく。春が来てこうソロ林に系谷に暗い地獄段七曲がり。カゴにやウグイス車にや羊。かわいい富野の目にや涙。泣けよウグイス林の雨に。妹恋しと声限り。泣けば反響小玉が地獄に響き。一 狐ボタンの花が咲く。地獄七山七景巡る。かわいい富野の一人旅。地獄小皿ばもて来てたもれ。春の深山お山の留め針留め針を赤い留め針立てにはさすぬ。かわいい富野の目印に。富野の地獄。姉は血を吐く、妹は火焼く。かわいい富野は宝玉玉を吐く。一人地獄に落ちゆく富野。地獄暗闇かもなき。鞭で叩くは富野の姉か。鞭のちぐさが気にかかる。はたきや叩きやれ叩かずとても。無限地獄は一つ道。暗い地獄へ案内を頼む。金の羊にウグイスに川の脳を袋にやいくらほど入れよ。無限地獄の旅したく。春が来てほうそろ林にけ谷に。暗い地獄段七曲り。カゴにやウグイス車にや羊。かわいい富野の目にや涙。泣けよウグイス林の雨に。妹恋しと声限り。泣けば反響小玉が地獄に響き。狐ボタンの花が咲く。地獄七山七景巡る。かわいい富野の一人旅。地獄小皿ばもて来てたもれ。春の深山お山の留め針留め針を赤い留め針立てにはさすぬ。かわいい富野の目印に。
If you've made it to this point, then that means you're drawn to the dark, so Project Dark Knight Horror is the channel for you. I'm a growing channel and I need people who love horror to subscribe. Only then will I be able to make my content for people who really appreciate it. I also make videos on creepypastas, true crime stories, eaten alive, top 10 ghost countdowns, random Nautica videos, strange, dark and mysterious tales, and a lot more. So, please think about becoming a Dark Knight. Till then, this has been Project Dark Knight Horror, and I am the Dark Knight signing off. Peace!
Don't ever laugh as the hearse goes by, for you may be the next to die. They wrap you up in a big white sheet, from your head down to your feet. They put you in a big black box and cover you up with dirt and rock.